Okay. We'll start seated. If your back is hurting you, I do recommend sitting up on something just so you can allow for those natural curves of the spine. And when we're moving, think about how if something hurts, you go to hold it, you go to support it. And it's the same thing with the spine. You hug in and support it. So when we're doing our forward folds, there's a little bit of that hugging in. When you're doing on your backs and lifting, there's that hugging in. Even the side to side twisting, lateral bending, there's that little bit of extra hugging into the midline. So let's just start by closing our eyes. Inhale, grow nice and tall. And exhale, take a moment to just notice what's going on inside. When we turn our awareness in on itself, in on the mind, we allow it to take a moment to be quiet, to give us a little peace. Inhale and feel the side ribs expanding. And exhale, draw in the side waist. Feel that little hug around the spine as you exhale completely. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and empty out. Start to practice your Ujjayi, restriction through the back of the throat. This is from Wayne Dwyer. Have a mind that is open to everything, but attached to nothing. Let it all come and go as it will. Enjoy it all, but never make your happiness or success dependent on an attachment to anything, any place, or any person. In all of our relationships, if you can love enough to allow a person to be exactly who they choose to be, without any expectations from you, you will know true peace in your lifetime. True love means you love a person for what they are, not for what you think they should be. This is an open mind and an absence of attachment. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring your hands together in front of the heart, bow your chin to your chest. Setting your intention to be open to everything, but attached to nothing. Gently blink your eyes open. Music. Inhale, bring your arms around and up. Exhale, hug in towards the midline. Inhale, arms around and up. Pause and hold that breath in. Exhale. Hug the navel in and hollow. Inhale, lift your sternum, elbows back. Exhale, seated cat-cow, hug your elbows in and round through your upper back. Inhale, lift, open your heart. Exhale, hug in, elbows in towards your heart. Inhale, hands behind your head. Let's let your head press back into the fingertips as you spread your elbows away from each other, even lifting the head up off the body. And exhale, release your hands down to the earth for a stretch. Hold and breathe. Feel free to be active in the legs by pressing the outer edge of the foot down into the floor. And then walk your way back up, change the cross of the legs. Inhale, lengthen through the side body. Exhale, keep the length as you rotate towards your right side. Pause here, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, think about rotating around the spine as you exhale. So it's like the flesh, the organs rotate towards that right arm. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left side, keeping the leg. Rotate around the spine, hugging in, growing taller. And bring it back to center and side bend. Crawl. Draw your right fingertips out so you're maintaining some sense of length through the right side as you side bend to the right, stretching the left. Let's take it a little bit further forward for a little bit more stretch into the back. Hug your navel in, support. Give your lower spine a hug here. Inhale, side bend up and over. So length through the left side, and then side bend, stretching through the right. Inhale, stretch, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, hug and hollow, reaching your arm forward, pressing your navel back into the spine. Inhale, back to center. Stretch up, lengthen, palms towards the sky, armpits towards each other. And then exhale, walk your hands forward. Hold and breathe. And then walk your way back. And come to hands and knees. Inhale, arch. Exhale, draw your navel in and up. Inhale, arch. And exhale, draw your navel in and up. Push forward towards the fingertips. Inhale as you arch, let the belly drop to the floor and pull the heels of the hands back towards the knees. So you're lengthening as you move your spine. Exhale, hug, push the floor away from you. Inhale, pull the heels of the hands back towards the knees. Good, and then come into neutral. We're going to bring the left knee in center and the right knee behind center. So like you're coming into a Gomukhasana leg. You can see my legs are reaching the opposite direction. From here, cat-cow again. Inhale, send the sitting bones wide. Exhale, tuck and hollow, even reaching the hips back a little bit. Inhale, arch. And exhale. Inhale, arch. And exhale. So as you tuck under, shifting back just a little bit towards the heels, feeling the stretch through the hips. And now I recommend for this next pose, keeping the legs as they are, to have blocks or something to help you come up with the knees, the feet still wide, press down in through the feet. It's challenging, I know, and you see how I can't quite bring myself up. So if you need to, you can have your hands on those blocks. This stretches a little bit more through that outer front of the leg that's behind. So your TFL muscle, hold and breathe. And then we're just going to switch sides. So you'll crawl your right foot in front, left foot in back, snuggle the knees together, walk the feet apart. And again, if coming up onto that standing just on the knees and the feet was hard, just stay with this and you can do the rocking forward and back. So let's inhale and arch, pull back. Inhale, hug your navel in and rock back. Start to feel that stretch through the outer hip, down into the legs, or T-band area. So now, if you have blocks, you don't need the blocks, but it is a little bit awkward here. So there's a pull on the front of my pelvis. You can see that TFL muscle, which is not allowing me to straighten all the way up. Inhale. If you want, you can reach your arms up. Just hold and breathe into that stretch. So for lower back pain, we want to stretch the hip area, front, back, side, quads, hamstrings. So there's more freedom in the lower back. Good. And then you can release down to the floor. All that new space in the legs. Inhale, arch. And let's exhale, hug your navel in and sink back towards your heels. So I spoke about this, and I forget if it was one of the classes this week, but when you hug your navel in, this is a back stretch when you come back into child's pose, which is where I usually go. But if you need more of that hip flexion stretch, you keep the back in neutral or even arched as you draw the hips back. And this is less back and more hip stretch. So see which one feels good for you this morning. Hold and breathe. Now rotate so that index finger and thumb are firmly grounded. Press into the floor, widen the shoulder blades. Hinge forward, shoulders over the hips, and back into downward facing dog. And walk your dog here. So we're still hugging that spine. Ribs are hugging in. Navel is hugging in. Keep the upper back broad by slightly pushing the thumbs forward and rooting down, straight down through the index finger knuckle. So we'll walk our feet up towards our hands. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, hold. Sweep your arms around and up. Exhale, bring your hands to the heart. Inhale, arms around and up. Stretch and lengthen, just like you're climbing up towards the sky here. Reach, reach. So axial extension is from the lengthening up, like you're trying to create space between each of the vertebrae, which is of course very helpful for any kind of spinal degeneration, or if that's the cause of your pain. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and then exhale. Release your hands behind the back. I was reading something, listening to something yesterday, and they said at 20 years old, our discs, the discs between each of the vertebrae, are 80% water, and at 60, they're 20% water. So we got to keep moving to keep them fluid. Inhale, arms around and up. Now exhale, brace, hug in, and sit back into chair pose. Use your glutes here, use your legs here. Inhale, bring your hands behind your back, standing back bend. Exhale, hug in, waist, navel. Hold and breathe. Exhale, dive forward, reach for the earth. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Heart extends forward, tail extends backwards. Exhale, hold. Let's rise all the way up. Exhale. So just want to point out, when we're coming up from this forward fold, you can see how gravity is pulling weight on the spine. So we need to hug in as we lift. Inhale. Exhale, back into chair pose. You can just reach your arms forward. Draw your navel back. Let's take a little twist. Right hand reaches back, left hand forward. And then back to center. Inhale. Exhale, left arm back. Inhale. And exhale. So since I'm a little bit sore in my back today, I'm bracing more than usual. And you could do the same if you feel any discomfort in your back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Hug your navel and tailbone back, heart forward. Exhale, fold again. Step your right leg back. Lower the knee to the floor. And inhale, rise up into your low lunge. Let's bring our hands behind your head. Press your head back, your ribs back, your navel back, and get strong through the legs. Ground down through the left foot. and the right knee and the right toes or tops of the foot if you have the top of the foot down. Inhale, get a little bit taller. Press your head back, ribs back, belly back. Let's bring our hand, hold that, keep your hands on the shoulders, and just draw some circles here. As you hold that stretch in the front of your right hip. So right glutes are firing here. Good, and then release. Swim the arms, big arms backwards. There's 3 big circles. Inhale, palms come to touch. Look up, navel lifts in. Exhale, release, hands to the earth. Let's come into downward facing dog. Forward into plank pose. Lower your knees, draw your heart forward, lower down to the earth. Inhale, back bend. And exhale. Inhale, little back bend. So you get a little bit of compression in the lower back, which is not bad, but you don't want it to feel tight or hurting. Inhale, we're strengthening as we lift, and exhale. And then walk your elbows forward for a relaxed back bend. So this is how we allow that disc material to resettle back in between the vertebrae above and below. Inhale, relax those spinal muscles. And then release. Come back to finding that strength. Cobra pose. Inhale, heart pulls forward. Don't have to come up high. Think about length more than lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale. Feel the strength in the back. Buttocks is wide, so that means inner ankles and inner thighs are rotating up. Exhale, release. Hug your belly up and in. Corset the waist. Press into downward facing dog. Let's traction the spine here as we root down through the index finger knuckle. Press those thumbs forward. Ribs in, tailbone long, reaching away from the base of the skull. Right leg up towards the sky. Step it towards the right thumb. Lower the knee and inhale, rise up. Again, hands behind the head. Press your head back. Press your ribs back. Press your navel back, and then use the strength of the right leg to pull you just a little bit further forward, but stay engaged through the left glute. And let's start those circles. Elbows come to touch in front of you. And then big circles with the arms. Still grounding, lifting, and hugging into the midline. Good, arms come, palms come to touch, lengthen upwards. Armpits turn towards each other. Tailbone dropping, navel lifting. Ground down. Exhale, release, hands to the earth. Step your left foot up towards your right. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. So soft bend in the knees. Back is engaged as we lift up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, little back bend. Exhale, back into chair pose. Hug your belly up. Left arm back. Keep reaching the left knee forward. Now inhale, and exhale, right arm back. Rinsing through the spine. Inhale, arms up a little bit higher, ribs tucked in. See if you can sit a little bit lower. Curl your sitting bones underneath, bring footwork into the backs of the legs. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Step back with the left leg. Anchor the back heel and cartwheel up into warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Reaching that right hand up towards the sky. Just hold that stretch. Dropping the right sitting bone and reaching the right pinky towards the sky. As you exhale, try to contain a little bit of that opening from the bottom right rib to the top of the head. Exhale, bring it into a right angle pose. Keep wrapping that outer right hip back. Maybe even lifting the right heel up and turning the knee out to find the knee in line with the toes. Bring it back into reverse warrior. Inhale. Legs are working. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the floor. Spin the back toe, right hand up towards the sky. Twisted lunge. Keep wrapping the right hip back. Downward facing dog. Forward into plank pose. Feel free to lower your knees as you lower down. Inhale. Lengthen the heart forward, tailbone back. Exhale, lower. Sternum forward, tailbone back. Widen the collarbone. So pinch the elbows back so those collarbones stretch wide without pinching the shoulder blades together. Good. Let's hold and hover. So float your hands up off the floor. Roll the pinky toe down and then float the 10 toenails up off the floor. Gaze comes forward. Fingers higher than the elbows. Hold and breathe. I should say wrists higher than the elbows. As you could just do this. Let's release down. Take your knees wide for a long spine in child's pose. And press back to hands and knees. A little intermission here for spinal balance. Right arm forward, left leg back. It's full body work here as you're engaging the glutes, the hamstrings, the core, the shoulders. Switch sides. Right leg, left arm. Square the pelvis. Right inner thighs lifting up. Now, even as you're bracing the core, take a breath into wherever you can find space. So side ribs. Exhale, release. Inhale, find your little back bend. Exhale, hug the navel up and in. So with your hands curl a little bit further forward, curl the toes, so you have the right length when you come up into your downward facing dog. Now left leg up towards the sky. Step it to the left thumb. Anchor your back heel. Round through both legs. Push the feet away from each other to find strength in the legs rather than in the back to pull you up. Inhale, float the arms back. Hold and breathe. Good. Left pinky to the sky. Left sitting bone towards the floor. Press your right thigh back. Hold and breathe. As you lift your left sitting bone, left frontal hip point a little bit higher, it'll help to balance your pelvis. Exhale, bring it into right angle. Now spilling the pelvis over that front thigh, left outer hip pulls back. Feel the arches of both the feet, maybe lifting that left heel and spinning the left sitting bone in line with the left knee and toes. Bring it back into warrior two. Inhale into your reverse warrior. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the floor while bracing. We're going to spin that left arm up towards the sky. Now the left outer hip is pulling back. Hold and breathe. Roll the shoulders away from the ears so the neck feels long. And release. Left hand to the floor. Step your right foot up towards your left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Sweep your arms around. Exhale, hands to the heart. Hands behind your back, opposite interlace of the fingers. Stretch and open through the chest. Exhale, release and come into chair pose. Pull your ribs back, navel back, armpits back, and then lift the arms. Exhale, release your hands to the earth. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Big step back with your right leg. Inhale, come up into high lunge. Arms up towards the sky. Hug your belly in. Feel that stretch in your upper right inner thigh. Good, now straighten through the front leg. Let's hop the back foot in just a little bit. Scissor the legs towards each other as you come down any amount, stretching the back of the left leg. Inhale, lift up. Now, just reach the right hand forward, so we're bracing the core here, so the spine is coming into, has to resist gravity. Now, while I told my kids, use this big muscle, this big joint to bend at the hips, still shoveling snow is a whole different animal. It's hard to get it right. But now, if you want, try both legs, both arms. So this is back work. You don't have to come coming a little, like not as far as I normally would. Exhale, release your hands to the floor or your blocks for triangle forward fold. Hold and breathe. Take a twisted triangle, left hand up towards the sky. Left hip pulling back. Good, release. Walk your hands over to the right side for Prasarita. May the heels spin out a little bit wider. Tractioning the spine as you let the head be heavy to the floor. Look to the arches of the feet, make them lift off the floor. You can try to slide a finger under there. Muscles will also automatically turn on to create space for the finger to lift, slide under. Inhale, lengthen halfway, soft bend in the knee. Hands plant underneath your face. Start with the left hand down, right hand up towards the sky. Long spine as you rotate. Use the left hand to pull the head forward, tailbone back. Switch sides. Right hand to the floor, left hand to the sky. Pull your sternum forward, tailbone back. So in other words, don't let the ribs collapse to the floor here. Release. Hands to the hips. Lever up. Spin your left toes back forward. Take a moment to find your warrior two pose again. Inhale, reverse warrior. To transition down to the floor into your dog pose. Forward into plank. You can either lower in a straight line or from the knees. Maybe if you're ready, coming into upward facing dog. So I'm still hugging in with my navel. Hug your outer ankles in. Inhale, lift the sternum and draw the upper outer shoulders back. Lift up, now we're facing dog. Hold and breathe. Now bring your right leg up towards the sky and step it towards your right thumb. We're going to come up into high lunge. Use the legs and the core to lift you up. Hold and breathe. Navel back, ribs back, armpits back. Strong through the legs. But we're going to just hop that back foot in a little bit. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Hands to your waist and scissor the legs together as you straighten that right leg. Keep the right big toe mound rooted. Don't lock out the legs here. Come back up. Reach the left arm forward, scissoring the legs towards each other. Working on that stretch behind the right thigh. Inhale. Scissor the legs towards each other so they're active as you control the stretch. Good, and then both arms, we bring more work into the back. Still stretching the back of the right leg. One more time, take it forward. So don't take it forward if it's bothering your back. You can keep your hands on your hips or just use one arm. We're going to release our hands to the floor for triangle forward fold, or of course you can be up on blocks, or you can even be up back here. If it's not working, remember you can also bend the knee if those hamstrings are just too tight to allow you to reach down towards the floor. To triangle, right hand up towards the sky. Right hip pulling back. Release your right hand, step your left foot up towards your right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Sweep your arms around and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. So balance poses work isometric strength as well as balance. Let's come to Uppanasana. So we're gonna just lift that right knee and try and hug it in towards the chest. Focus on the standing leg, glutes working, quads working, and hamstrings. So let the muscle hug the bone so you find that support of the joints as you hold, building isometric strength in the standing leg. But then release into tree pose. Keep engaged through the legs. Just turn out the leg. Hands to the heart, maybe hands to the sky. My tree fell down. Hold and breathe. And release. Let's draw some hip circles. And change direction. Good, so let's try Uppanasana on the other side, hugging the left knee in towards the chest. Or just holding it here is good too. Shoulders back. Get a little bit taller, hug your navel back and in. And now bring your attention to the standing leg, that the muscles are engaged. Glutes, front of the thigh, back of the thigh. And of course, the main stabilizing muscle here is those smaller glute muscles. Keep strong through that leg as you come into tree pose. Now you can use the inner thighs to press into that left foot. Hold and breathe. And release. Little gentle circles with the legs. And let's work the ankles. You just get on the toes and try to draw circles. And other way. The feet and the ankles are our base of support, so having strength and flexibility here is more important than you might think. Good way to strengthen the feet and the ankles is to do movement with one leg while balancing on the other leg. So we can just try a little bit of movement. This yesterday in our Yoga Alliance class, but I want to share it with you as well. So grounding into this left leg and just doing a little bit of movement. So the ankle has to work to support all that movement. Yeah. And we got the circles. Good, let's work our way down to the floor. Inhale, arms are rounded up. Exhale. You can take your feet wider to come into a squat pose. Feel free to lift the heels for a neutral spine or drop the heels for that flexion through the spine. Just notice which one feels better for you. Either out or are so soft and there's no in between. Anyway, let's release the feet to the floor. And let's come right onto our backs. So hands behind the knees, roll down, and hug your knees in towards the chest. Feet to the floor. So movement is healing. Movement brings circulation. So the first move I come to when my back is hurting are these little tiny movements of the spine, where you roll the pelvis forward and allowing your back to arch. Feel the back muscles contract. And then spill the pelvis back in towards the belly. Feel the back flatten. Inhale, arch. And exhale, flatten. So let's just do a little bit more strength here. So without tucking the tailbone up and towards you, see if you can use your abdominal muscles to like imprint the spine. This is what we would do in a Pilates. We would imprint the spine, but not tuck, not lift the tailbone. So see if you can just exhale to get that hug and support of the spine. And then lift your right heel up off the floor without anything moving. And then your left heel. So a little walk here, right heel. You can soften your shoulders down to the floor. They want to curl up here. Keep exhaling that navel down. And let's march it all the way up so your left knee is up. And then float your right knee up. Exhale, hug in, so the spine sinks a little bit more into the floor. You're squeezing it from all sides. You can hold onto your mat. And now the opposite direction, tap your right foot down and your left foot down. Right foot down and left foot down. Exhale, that will help engage those deep transverse muscles. Exhale, right leg down and left leg. To progress this exercise, which you don't have to do, you can bring your arms up and have an arm move away from the leg while continuing to hug the spine and reach an arm and leg away from each other. Exhale. Exhale. This is called dead bug. Exhale. Still moving, so I guess it's not quite dead yet. Right leg, left arm. Right arm, left leg. So this is a very hard exercise, especially if you start to really reach your arm and leg all the way out. Because it takes a lot of work to stabilize your core here. Good, one more. And then just relax that contraction and use your knees and your arms to relax and imprint the spine a little bit. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now bring your arms out like a T shape. And let's just keep the knees squeezing together and the inner edge of the feet together as you tilt the knees from side to side. So our thigh bones are moving with the pelvis. And the twist is coming from your the rotation of your spine. A little movement side to side. And if you need to make them smaller, you make them smaller. I go from my right heel to my left heel, my right heel to my left heel. Good. And then come back to center. Lengthen the spine, the pelvis away from the rib cage. And now working back in strength. So hamstrings and glutes, very important to support our posture, our back, and our core. So just lift up into your bridge pose and hold here.
Root down into the inner edge of the feet and the whole foot, but we tend to roll off, so the whole foot is grounding. Arch is lifting. Now tailbone lengthens. Pull with the strength of your strong hamstrings and glutes, the tailbone to lengthen towards that inner knee. Root down through the tops of the shoulders to lift the rib cage. Feel a little bit of a hollow underneath the space of the neck. And just hold. We're holding an isometric. Continue to lengthen the tailbone. Allow the arch to be in the thoracic spine rather than in the lumbar spine. So in the rib cage rather than the lower back. Keep pressing the feet into the floor. There's a balance of effort between the inner thighs, the hamstrings, and the gluteal muscles. Exhale and release. One vertebrae at a time. Let's roll up one more time, this time with the arms. Inhale, arms lift up. Notice if you want to roll out into the outer edge of the foot. Exhale and feel the heaviness of each part of the spine descending towards the earth. Do that one more time because it feels so good. Inhale, roll up off the spine. And exhale, release back down towards the earth. Hopefully your glutes are feeling a little bit more fired up here. Let's do a stretch for them now. So we're going to bring our hands to the outside. I cross my left ankle over my right knee, and I'm going to bring my hands to the outside of my left thigh. Now I want you to press the knee out rather than towards the right shoulder. And then see if you can float the right knee up. Continue to resist the left knee out, but let your arms become a little bit stronger. It's not a tug of war, but you're just keeping resistance on the outside of the left thigh as you pull the left knee towards the right shoulder. Feel all those glute muscles stretching. Good, and then release it back without resistance. Press the knee into the hand, and then draw that knee towards your right shoulder with a little bit of resistance. Now to add to that, so you might have your heel on the floor or just a little bit off the floor. Now press out into the hands. As you pull the knee in towards your right shoulder, you can also lift that right knee up a little closer towards you. I'll feel all the stretch in the outer left hip. And let's do that one more time. Knee presses out into the fingertips, and then fold the left knee in towards the right shoulder. Like it doesn't want to quite go, it's resisting. And then release. And just take a moment to stretch the legs out. Just feel that left hip a little bit more lax and loose. Deep breath into the belly. So it's just as important as it is to contain and hold the abdominals, it's equally as important to release those abdominals and create that space through the breath. Let's try that on the other side. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Hands to the outside of the right knee and resist. I like to have my leg floating up off the floor a little bit because it's easier, first of all, to grab the knee and you get a better stretch. So resist the knee outward into the hands, but you're pulling the right knee towards the left shoulder. Release. Do it again. Push out and then draw your right knee towards your left shoulder. The resistance stretching helps to work the whole length of the muscle, not just one part. So pull it in towards you, resist, gently resist. as you pull the knee in towards the left shoulder. So as I said before, you can also add the lift of the left knee so that that right ankle is also coming a little bit closer. And one more time, resist out with that right knee and then pull it in towards you. Good. And let's release that, soles of the feet together. Inhale. And exhale. Now to release and stretch the diaphragm, we're going to do that Nauli, it's called, or Agni Sara, lift of the diaphragm. So to do that, we come back into bridge pose. Inhale, feel the belly puff out. And exhale, let it sink back down to the earth as you peel the spine up off the floor. Hold your bridge pose. Take a deep breath in. Fill the belly. And then hold it here. Exhale completely. Exhale, empty all your breath out. Don't breathe in as you lower. You should feel, to talk, I have to let it go, but you should feel the diaphragm sucked all the way up into the rib cage, giving your diaphragm a stretch and vacuuming all those internal organs. Good. When you need to, take that breath in. Let's try it one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Belly sinks towards the floor. Roll up through the spine. And we'll pause and take a deep breath in. Up in the bridge pose. Ground through the inner and outer edge of the foot. So remember, we exhale completely and don't take a breath in until we have to. So exhale completely at the top. And roll down. Hold your breath if you can, and let the legs move a little bit from side to side. You can even take a fake inhale to exaggerate that upward lift of the diaphragm. Good. When you need to, take that breath in. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Let's hug your right knee in towards the chest. Stretch your left leg out. And come into Supta Pada Mustasana. Send your right heel up and press your right leg forward into your hands. Relax your shoulders down. Bend and straighten a few times. Let's try an inner thigh stretch, either holding onto the knee or the big toe as you bring your right leg out towards the right. To balance this out, roll towards your left side. You're not actually rolling, but all your energy is kind of making you heavier on the left side. Deep breath in. Letting go, exhale. Good, and bring it back into center. Release your foot to the floor. Hug your left knee in. Stretch your right leg out. Reach through your right leg. Hands behind the left leg and kick it straight. Relax your shoulders. Feel free to hold up higher if it's comfortable for you. I am trying to keep a neutral curve in my back here, not imprinting the spine, but lengthening both sitting bones towards the right foot. Hold and breathe. Maybe bend and straighten a few times. And then take your leg out towards the left side or the knee, could be the knee also, and get heavier on your right side. Hold and breathe, relax the shoulders, the eyes. So the quote that originally by Tolupe, requoted by Wayne Dwyer, be open to everything, but attached to nothing, works very well in our yoga practice, where a lot of poses look a certain way and our bodies might not ever get into, for example, a back bend for me is not really something that I'll ever get to, a deep back bend, I should say. But that's okay, because that's my body and there's no attachments to an end or a perfect something. There's just no such thing. And then bring it back towards center. You can release your foot to the floor. Another important thing to realize with any back, is the connection of the muscles that lie on the front that are right, the QL and the psoas, they're right next to each other. So if one's tight, the other one is more than likely going to be tight, since of all the fascial attachments. So if you have a pillow or a block to put under your hips, we'll stretch the front of the hip by again hugging the left knee in and stretching the right leg. So you can use a rolled up towel, you can use a rolled up blanket if you don't have a block, anything that will elevate the pelvis. So it's on the bony part, not on the back. I'm scooching my ribs away and reaching that right leg away as I hold my left knee in towards the chest. The effort here is in making sure you're really reaching through the right leg and not letting the toes turn out towards the side. You can engage the psoas by lifting and then slowly letting it lower down. Feel that stretch deep in, you feel it in the inner thigh area. Lift up and then lower down. Lift up and slowly lower down. Hold and breathe. Slide the right foot in. Left leg out. Right knee in towards the chest. Reach through the left leg. Hug your navel in. Lift the left leg. And then slowly letting that left, with a left inner ankle coming down faster than the outer ankle, so the leg's just slightly internally rotated. Lift, engage, control as you lower. One more time to lift, and then exhale. Reaching through that left inner ankle, toes right over the heel. Hold and breathe. You could pelvic tilt here, that will deepen the stretch. It's hard to pelvic tilt here, but you can try to deepen the stretch in the front of the leg and then tension that muscle. And then let's release. Slide the block out from underneath you or whatever you had underneath you. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And take a moment there, just enjoy the stretch through the back. Maybe draw some little circles, one direction and then the other. And then arms and legs up towards the sky, wiggle the fingers and the toes. Shift the bottom jaw from side to side, twin flex. And shake it all out. And release into your final resting pose. Now relaxing all the muscles. Sometimes it takes bringing our attention to each and every one to notice that we might still be holding a little bit of tension. So relax the space between the eyebrows. Relax the jaw so there's space between the upper and lower teeth. Feel the muscles in the neck begin to soften. And the space where the neck meets the tops of the shoulder, allow it to be limp and hammocking towards the earth. Heads of the arm bones drop as you release the muscles in the chest. And then relax all the muscles around the rib cage. All the muscles around the back and the belly. Notice if there's any remaining gripping around the hips. Allow it to soften. Release the pelvic floor. All the muscles in the legs. As you just come into an easeful state of the body, allowing for a fluid flow of the energy through the body and the breath. Being open to the possibilities and your connection to something greater beyond your imagination. Know that our struggles come from our attachments to things as they change, or things we perceive to be right. Let it go. Being open to everything, but attached to nothing. You can gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe walking your feet in towards you. As you gently roll over onto your right side, you can use your right arm as a pillow. And then slowly making your way back to a seated position with your eyes remaining closed. Thumb and index finger touch. Inhale, breathe space into the body. Exhale, support that space and length by hugging into the midline. One more deep breath in. And exhale, bring your hands together in front of the heart, bow your chin to your chest, sealing our practice in gratitude for honoring this moment as it unfolds, seeing its beauty and how precious each moment is. And then we move on to the next. It's my honor to teach you the light in me, bows to the light in you. Namaste.
Have a great day. Next Friday is Christmas, I believe. Is that right? So probably won't have a class. Be well, Mary, Mary, everyone. See you soon.